Hey guys, this is Richie, and we're back with another video. This video, we're going to be highlighting some plugins that were just released by Native Instruments as part of their holiday special. So every year, Native Instruments likes to give away a couple plugins just to give you a taste of what they create and what kind of things are out there. So this time around, they're giving away TRK-01 Kick and TRK-01 Bass. So thought that we'd take a look at them and see what they can do and have some fun with them. So the first one we're going to take a look at is the kick piece, and we can just hear we got a nice 4 on the floor kick here. So how does this all work? So you got two layers. You got layer A and layer B, and then your global can help you crossfade between the two. And on each layer you could use a sample, a synth, a rumble, and a noise. So you got like a lower frequency rumble or white noise. So you can actually cycle through your different samples by clicking through here. And so let's tune it. You can go through your digital category, acoustic, sub, drums, and then you can even have a user samples. And you can cycle through the different ones that you have available. From the library that it comes with. We'll start with that one. And like I say, you could tune it. You can change where the sample starts at and where it ends. So now I've changed the mix over to just the layer A. Bring in layer B a little bit. Maybe we'll try with a different type of sound. Rumble. So you can hear what we're getting with the rumble. We're giving it a bit more drive, distortion. You can adjust the duration of how long that rumble is on each hit. A little bit of chaos. And then we have our envelopes. So this we can use for our amp envelope. And then you can route it based on by clicking on here. And then you can see these knobs to tell you where that envelope is going to get routed. So we went for shorter decay. And this is adjusting the amp envelope for layer A. So we could also modulate the cutoff with the amp envelope. That gives it a bit more attack. Here. Now we get a bit more attack on there by adjusting the filter from the envelope. We add some resonance, makes it a little more pronounced. Now we change this to a high pass or band pass filter also, so we only get the highs from that second layer. We'll add some drive to layer A. Not too much, but just a little bit. So then you also have your LFO, and you have noise that you can add to that LFO. So you can see here that changes the waveform. So if we give it a slower LFO, and maybe we'll adjust just the mix of two layers a little bit over time. You can adjust the wave shape also of the LFO. And then we have the other amplitude envelope. And we're going to tighten this one up because, there we go. And then you also have effects for your kick. So you can add some drive to everything overall. And you can, there's a simple equalizer. And you have your overall output, and you could put on a compressor on that. Tighten everything up. And then you had some settings, that are your global settings that you can adjust. So now we'll go over to the bass. So we have a bass line right here. You have a few different synth engines that you can use. You have your classic, you have super, which is like a super saw. West, which is kind of more of like a modular synth type of waveform that you can adjust. Frequency modulation. And a modern synth. For this one, we're going to use a FM synth. And it's really easy to program this one compared to most frequency modulation out there. We can add a sub-synth or a sub-oscillator. This also has a filter. You can change the type of filter that you have. Add a little feedback. And then you have an amp envelope and then just an auxiliary envelope. So the auxiliary envelope we could use as a filter envelope if we wanted to. Go back here. Turn it on. And then we have our amp envelope also, which we can adjust if we want. And both envelopes have a release that you can turn on or off. The release matches whatever the decay is. So if it's off, I think we'll leave it off for the filter envelope. And then we also have an LFO. So the LFO allows us to add some modulation to different pieces. We'll add some to the filter and we'll slow it down. So it's just going to ever so slightly be changing over time. And you can see in the LFO parameters, you can adjust a few different things. You can make it on beat, tempo. And you'll see that the knob adjusts based on that also. We'll just keep it at slow for now. And if we look at our effects, you can add a drive insert. We can add an equalizer. equalizer. You see the effects of the equalizer right here. And now and then we can also turn on a compressor. Make this one a bit more aggressive. Now one of the interesting things is that bass has a ducking envelope. And the way that you use a ducking envelope, as you can see over here in the settings, you have duck envelope trigger. So the way to trigger it is you have to send this note to it. So if we go into our MIDI, and we go down to C-2, you'll see that I've got a note here on the kick. So that's we can then assign it to something. So maybe we want put it to the output. Okay, so now you can see that it's starting to duck a little bit whenever it hits the kick. You see that's affecting the mix. We could also use a different type of insert. This is a distortion insert, but we could change it over to unison. Or flanger, or phaser. We'll keep it on distortion for this one. Now we're going to look at pluck. So right now it's just simple synth. Maybe for this one we'll use the classic. We'll add a sub oscillator. And then for the waveform, keep it around there. And now you can see that we can add a second oscillator. So you've actually got 3 oscillators going now. We'll tune this one up. We'll bring the sustain down on the envelope. Turn on our filter. We'll use a 4-pole filter for this one. And now we're gonna use this second envelope. Give it a little bit of feedback. We're going to use the LFO for this one also. We're going to put it slow. We'll shape it a little bit. I think we're going to send this to resonance. This one we'll use the unison. then on this one, we're going to change the EQ to a low shelf. You see here that we're going to turn it, leave it at 50, and we're going to turn it pretty far down. We'll turn this on. So now we're rolling off everything below 50 hertz. You can adjust the EQ. We'll bring up the mid. Alright, so now let's add a little pad. So we'll use the super saw. Bring in our sub. Solo this just for a second. Hear what we're doing. See here, this is it. Pretty much standalone with a little bit of movement. Now we're going to add a lot of those saws to it. We got our sub. You can actually route the sub differently. You can put it after the oscillator so it still goes through the filter. Or you can put it before the amp so it's after the filter. And then you could even put it after the EQ. So we're going to add the filter. We'll use an 8-pole filter for this one. Alright. Leave it around here with some feedback. And we'll add another, we'll use the envelope as a filter envelope. Add a lot of attack. Large amount of decay. Maybe even more attack and decay. And then on the amp envelope, we'll do similar. Large amount of attack. Large amount of decay. You can see that also adjusts the release envelope here. And then what we'll do is we'll use this LFO. Maybe we'll go for when it's based on the beat. We'll do over 8 bars. Maybe we'll do that. Okay, so we'll send that to detune. You see that it's changing over time here. And you can assign it to multiple things. Just for this example, we'll just use simple. So now if we go over to our effects, for this one, maybe we'll add a phaser. Alright. And then we're going to do the same thing with the lows. We're going to just roll off the lows. We'll set it a little higher. Roll it off. Bring the Q up a little bit. And bring the mids up a little bit. So you can see how these little synths can actually get you quite a bunch of different sounds. And then you just add a little bit more to it and get the basics of a pretty cool track. So I hope that you enjoyed this and checking out these new new synths and these new plugins. And if you have any comments or suggestions on ways that you've used these, I'd be happy to hear that. So feel free to leave it in the comments. Make sure you subscribe so you get the next videos that I put up. And thanks for checking this one out.